Space, the final frontier. These words were the first spoken in Star Trek, the original television series in 1966, and this final frontier continues to be explored today. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scotty, Uhura, Chekhov, and Sulu were the multicultural crew that included an alien to explore the vastness of space, and in doing so, discovered the potential of human beings to become better. We agree with the definition of the key words provided by the affirmative team. The theme for our case today is that Star Trek is more desirable than Star Wars, as we all want to go boldly into a bright future than be stuck a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. As first speaker for the negative team today, I will speak about the original series of Star Trek and how it changed television, but also the world for the better. Our second speaker will speak about the issues that Star Trek has addressed since the 1960s and how science fiction of Star Trek became science fact. Our third speaker will summarize our team's arguments, identify the flaws of the oppositions, and leave you with the logical outcome that Star Wars is not better than Star Trek. Before I go any further, I would like to rebut some points made by the first speaker of the opposition. The first speaker of the opposition has said that the movies were made better due to Star Wars. Movies rely too heavily on special effects now, and in the process forgot about the story. Do realistic dinosaurs or animated rabbits make for a better film? No, it's the story, and Star Wars has relied too heavily on rehashing the same story. The opposition criticized the story of Star Trek, the motion picture, but at least the story was original. How many Death Stars or giant planets can Star Wars blow up before it becomes tedious and boring? There is no sense of wonder anymore, because the stories are the same. Special effects do not make a good movie. The story does, and that is why Star Trek is more desirable than Star Wars, as we all want to go boldly into a bright future than be stuck a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The opposition have conveniently forgotten that Star Wars only became Episode 4 when The Empire Strikes Back was released and introduced as Episode 5. How can the opposition criticize the story of Star Trek when Star Wars began their story in the middle? How many people, when telling a story, begin in the middle? It makes no sense. If anything, Star Wars has overcomplicated storytelling. Now every character has to have a complicated and highly unlikely backstory. Look at Star Wars Episode 1. How conceivable was it that Anakin Skywalker, the future Darth Vader, built C-3PO? Now with streaming services, every character has to have a complicated backstory or a continuing story. Star Wars cannot escape its own success and keeps revisiting and rehashing the same old story. That is why Star Trek is better, as we go boldly into a bright future and not be stuck a long time ago. The original series of Star Trek debuted on September the 8th, 1966 and aired for 3 seasons. It followed the voyages of the Starship Enterprise in the 23rd century on a mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Star Trek may have taken us to new planets and introduced us to new aliens, but it addressed issues of the era. These issues included war and peace, the value of personal loyalty, imperialism, class warfare, racism, religion, human rights, the role of technology, and the perils of time travel. It cleverly disguised these issues in entertaining stories set in far-off worlds, but was in fact holding up a mirror to our own society. That is why Star Trek is more desirable, as we all want to go boldly into a bright future. The original series was a breakthrough in television, which included a multicultural cast that included a Russian during the Cold War, a Japanese man cast in a major role only 20 years after the end of World War II, and the first African American woman to kiss a white man on television. Although we take a lot for granted with our entertainment today, and Star Trek was a trailblazer in the arena of pushing the boundaries, the series continued with the next generation, with a bald captain, Deep Space Nine with an African American as commander, and Voyager with a female captain. It continued to entertain into the 21st century with Enterprise, Discovery, Picard, and Strange New Worlds. While the series continues to explore outer space, it addresses issues that we face in our ever-changing world. Star Trek not only entertains, but it educates, and that is why Star Trek is better than Star Wars, as we all want to go boldly into a bright future. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have introduced our team's argument that Star Wars is not better than Star Trek. I have given you the historical background to the popular science fiction franchise first produced for television in 1966. I have explained the social commentary that Star Trek played out in the original and subsequent series and how this impacted the way in which we see our own world. I have also identified how the franchise continues to push the boundaries of our own exploration of what is possible for humankind. Star Trek is more desirable than Star Wars, as we all want to go boldly into a bright future than be stuck a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Thank you.